I thought from just a purely informational entertainment point of view, I thought it was very informative for the American people.
Yes.
Because there's such a big divide between these two candidates.
Well, there's a big divide. And Sean, look, it's just another day for Donald Trump that he's talking about the issues and substance. He does that every single day out in the stump. You see him at the rallies. He gives policy speeches. This was brand spanking new for Hillary Clinton to actually come out in front of America and say, here's what I think about A, B, and C. She had crammed her head full of a lot of stuff, and she wanted to make sure we heard basically every single fact and figure. But I also thought she looked a little bit smug and a little glib at times, which isn't frankly presidential. Donald Trump should really be valued for what happened at the very end of the debate, which is he exercised restraint. And I'm not sure that...
As his campaign manager, did you talk about this ahead of time? A little bit?
I'm not sure that the rest of us could have exercised that kind of restraint. If somebody is attacking you...
I couldn't.
That's right.
I don't think I would have.
There you go. But look, restraint is a virtue, and it certainly is a presidential virtue. The idea that it would have been so easy if somebody's talking about mistreating women, it would have been so easy.
By the way, that's what they call a softball. That was sitting there on a tee to hit out of the park. He didn't want to do it.
He grabbed it, and he explained himself. He said, I was prepared, or I could have done some really rough stuff to you.
Were you surprised I was? She wants to raise taxes. She wants to redistribute the wealth.
Very proud of it.
Yeah.
And Sean, this is really the nut of these presidential debates. What is the worldview of these two people? What is their view of the government in our lives? This is so easy. She's for bigger government, more regulations, higher taxes. She didn't deny any of it. She's very proud of her position on trade. She doubled down on it. He's got this tremendous middle-class tax relief plan, create 25 million jobs, renegotiate trade deals, because he is a free trader, but he's also a fair trader, meaning let's make them work better for America, her allies, and her people. He also was able to talk about defeating radical Islam. She won't even call it that. He told her, you and President Obama left a vacuum when you came out of Iraq, and that allowed for the birth and growth of ISIS. There's no denying that. Yeah. And the only way she denied things tonight was to go, like, why am I on the stage with this man? But I thought he showed strength and leadership. And, of course, Lester Holt, all these debate moderators have a very tough job. You can only get so many issues covered in 90 minutes. But let's talk about all the things that were not covered. She totally flip-flopped on gay marriage between 2008, when she unsuccessfully ran for president, and 2016, when she has unsuccessfully run for president.
The money she took from the Saudis, Kuwait, Oman.
How about the emails? He had to raise the emails. He mentioned it as part of his answer to a question, and then it was just, Mrs. Clinton, would you like to mention your email?
Well, and he was also wrong on the issue of stop and frisk. Because the judge was removed from the case.
The judge, Shira Shinley, was removed from the case, and this current mayor, decided not to pursue that policy. But Terry versus Ohio is a United States Supreme Court decision that is still on the books. It means reasonable suspicion, stop and frisk is allowed. What happened in New York is the way it was being used was being litigated before that particular judge. I think a lot of people in the media, I've heard them all week saying stop and frisk is unconstitutional. They need to read the Constitution.
You know, when you look at the issues, tax policy, immigration, vetting of refugees, saying radical Islam, Obamacare, energy policy. She wants to put coal miners and coal companies out of business. It's just so vast. I mean, for people, I think maybe that are coming in now to absorb it, maybe it will take 3 debates. What do you think?
It will take 3 debates, but I'll tell you, in between these 3 debates, it is everybody's responsibility to be forcing her, smoking her out on these issues. The idea that the voters only deserve to hear 270 minutes worth of these two people who would be president of the United States and leader of the free world is nonsense. So I hope, Sean, that the media and others hold her to account in between these debates, that she's just not, how did she perform in 90 minutes?
I don't trust, but here's the question. There was certainly a list of cheap shots she brought into the debate. How did you feel those went? Like, for example, she tried to play the race card like she has in some of her ads. Donald Trump, excuse me, you're the one that used the term super predator. And I asked him about that, and he said, well, she said it. And the issue of women, he could have gone there. He didn't. He could have mentioned the women in Saudi Arabia, that she's taking money from a country that treats women horribly. And on top of that, the Bill Clinton issue and her enabling aspect. But he didn't want to do it in front of the daughters. Is that going to become fair game if she keeps up that level of attack?
Possibly. It may be yes, possibly. Yeah. But you're absolutely right that she came with these prepackaged, snarky zingers. Let me let everybody remember I said this, but if you're Hillary Clinton, they look like prepackaged, practiced zingers, and they kind of fall flat on their way down. They're kind of limp. Everybody knows she's a very rehearsed person, and she took several days off from the trail to prepare for this. And that's fine, but the question is, are you prepared to be president. You can prepare for a debate the way she did, but are you prepared to be president? I would argue she's unfit to be president. She's unqualified to be president. She put our national security at risk. She left those guys in Benghazi unprotected even after Ambassador Chris Stevens and others begged for more security.
Requests.
Thank you. Even if you missed the first 500 because you've deleted those emails, you must have the 100 in there somewhere. She has disrespected our veterans being part of this administration where veterans literally have been dying waiting for care at the VA in a place like Arizona. So there are many things about her record that people knew before tonight and will know long after tonight. I also think that Mr. Trump really connected tonight with the people who need to hear his message most. Those who do say, why did my job go to Mexico or China or to a robot somewhere else?
And he kept talking about Detroit and Ohio and Pennsylvania. Yes. They have been hurt the most.
They've been hurt the most, and that's exactly why we're either up or tied with her in these polls. In these 3 states that President Obama carried handily both times, beat both McCain and Romney in those states, shown why. His message is just so different, and the messenger is so different. He's basically doing very well in those blue-collar areas. This guy's saying, you know what, maybe I don't need the 4-year college degree, but I'm a welder, I'm a carpenter, I'm a plumber, I'm a factory line. I just want to work and support my family.
That's
and
my whole career, Kellyanne.
That's right.
I appreciate
know. God bless you.
Yeah.
That's everyone I grew up with, and I hope they're watching us both tonight. Yeah.
Kellyanne, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. We'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.